October 18th, 2008 is a day I will never forget. As a volunteer for the Obama organization, I was able to use my filmmaking skills to capture then Senator, presidential candidate Barack Obama's message of hope and change. A crowd of over 100,000 St. Louisans gathered to hear why Barack Obama should be the 44th president of the United States. 4 years later, his campaign speech remains a measuring stick to campaign promises made and actual real-world results during his term as president. Stimulating the economy through bailouts to strengthen the country's infrastructure. What does that mean? Saving one of the largest industries in the country, the auto industry, where one auto industry job creates 9 others. Ending the war in Iraq, working to repair our healthcare system, providing opportunities for students and adults to acquire higher education, providing legislature and restrictions for large corporations, all campaign promises that he actually followed through on. Now, 4 years later, it's election time again. The same people who made it difficult for President Obama to accomplish his agenda are creating deceptive half-truths to promote fear among Americans. One of President Obama's guiding principles is education. Do the research yourself to know what's going on in your community and be active. If you know Election Day is November 6th, but don't get out and vote, you weren't an effective citizen. You didn't participate. You didn't take the opportunity to vote when your opinion mattered the most. You let somebody else make the decision for you. Do the research. Get involved. Get out and vote. Go to www.gatewaytochange.stl.com. Make your comment. We'll see you there.
I think it's time to give a tax cut to the teachers and the janitors who work in our schools, to the cops and the firefighters who keep us safe, to the waitresses working double shift, the nurses in the ER, and yes, the plumbers fighting for their American dream. These workers are the backbone of our country. They're the ones that Washington has forgotten. They're the ones I'll fight for. While my opponent thinks this campaign's all about me, the truth is this campaign's about you. Your jobs, your health care, your retirement, your children's future. That's what this election's about. That's what I'm fighting for. Policies that grow our economy from the bottom up so that every American, everywhere, has the chance to get ahead. Not just the person who owns the factory, but the men and women on the factory floor. Not just the CEO, but the janitor and the secretary. Because if we've learned anything from this economic crisis, it's that we're all connected. We're all in this together. We will rise or fall as one nation, as one people. My mother died of ovarian cancer at the age of 53. I'll never forget how she spent the final months of her life lying in a hospital bed, fighting with her insurance company because they claimed that it was a pre-existing condition, that they didn't have to pay for a treatment. Some people here probably have gone through the same thing. Well, let me tell you, if I'm president, we will make sure those insurance companies can never do that again. We'll make sure those insurance companies can't discriminate against people who need care the most. If you have health insurance, the only thing that will change under my plan is that we're going to lower your premiums. If you don't have health insurance, you'll be able to get the same kind of health insurance that members of Congress get for themselves. We'll give every child the skills and knowledge they need to compete with any worker anywhere in the world. I will not allow countries to out-teach us today so they can out-compete us tomorrow. It's time to provide every American child with a world-class education. And that means investing in early childhood education. That means recruiting an army of new teachers. That means paying our teachers better, giving them more support in exchange for higher standards and more accountability. It means making a deal with every American who has the drive and will, but not the money to go to college. I'll take on the corruption in Washington and on Wall Street to make sure a crisis like this can never, ever happen again. We're going to put in some common sense regulations, some rules of the road that I've been calling for since March. Rules that will keep our market free and fair and honest. Rules that will restore accountability and responsibility in our corporate boardrooms. And just Just as we demand accountability on Wall Street, we're going to demand it in Washington. Now, that's why I'm not going to just stand here and simply tell you how I'm going to spend money. I'm going to tell you how we're going to save money. I'll do what you have to do in your own family budget. When things get tight, we're going to make sure that we spend our money wisely. I'll go through the entire federal budget, page by page, line by line. We will eliminate programs that don't work and aren't needed. And we'll start by ending a war in Iraq that's costing us $8 trillion.